Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it is politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, on today's conversation, there's just a plethora of disinformation happening, which is no shocker when you see what's happening in legacy media. But we see the right really continuing to, in my opinion, cause more harm than good in this nation, cause more division, which, in my opinion, that has always been their lead brand. I'm not saying that's the majority of Republicans, but those that are in charge, that has the massive megaphone, they've been spewing out the wrong things. And so we see it at Fox News amongst a number of personalities that are continuing to point the fingers of why one of their own was gunned down, lost his life, and we're seeing the back and forth between those saying, for as popular and successful as this man was for his so-called freedom of speech, why isn't that folks that share their freedom of speech on their thoughts on him is really looked as the wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, don't get it twisted. Folks that celebrate death should be punished, should be fired from their jobs if they are sharing information or talking out loud publicly, whether it's on their social media or at their workplace. They should be let go, because that they're a part of the problem. But recently, we've seen a lot of tributes. I'll say it was a few football games that has shared a moment of silence for the recent passing of a conservative activist in Charlie Kirk. And so my thought process, the first thing that came to me was like, okay, I thought that the NFL's goal was to not be political, right? I mean, let's think about this. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee, he was getting attacked by so many for being political. He wanted to draw attention because of what was going on in not just the black community, but just going on in the world. And he said, look, I want to bring attention to this by taking a knee during the anthem. Now, he never spit on the flag. He never flipped the bird during the anthem. He never was being obnoxious. He said, I'll just, instead of standing up, and I will take a knee and have my head down during the national anthem. The world was in an uproar. The league, you could say, said enough with Colin Kaepernick, because he's hurting our revenue source. He's hurting ticket sales for us. He has to go. He must go. Okay. So when a controversial conservative activist loses life, again, in a horrific way that I don't wish on anybody, not even my worst enemy, he gets acknowledged at stadiums, at football games. Now, look, I did not know Mr. Kirk personally. I didn't know what of words that made him very viral and very famous. So I go back to ask the question, y'all. If folks continue to criticize the NFL being political, this political, and just professional athletes, really professional sports, they try to separate politics out of sports. But I've always said politics is everywhere. Politics is everywhere. You can't run from it. It's everywhere. As much you want to run away from it, it is everywhere. So we continue to see the whole back and forth amongst the right and the left on who's to blame, and uh and 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 how those who were close to Charlie Kirk in his inner circle are causing more harm by calling groups out specifically on who's the root of it. And I'm just like, y'all not making this better. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. In addition to that, I rarely get to talk about professional wrestling. And professional wrestling is one of my favorite things to watch ever since I was a kid. When I tell you I was addicted to professional wrestling, the only action figures that I had were of wrestling action figures. Of them at the time, the only video games that I played were wrestling related video games. I was a wrestling fanatic. Hell, I wanted to be a wrestler. Come on, who wouldn't want to be a buff, chiseled dude, getting all the ladies looking at him and stuff like that? I wanted to be that guy. Then reality hits, and I feel this stomach of mine. I'm like, yep, God had another plan for me. But I want to talk about professional wrestling because recently, uh, Triple H. I know, man. Triple H's name is Paul Levesque. He is the new guy in charge at the World Wrestling Entertainment, which is now in partnership with, I believe it's called TKO. They have announced that WrestleMania 43 will be in Saudi Arabia. And a lot of fans are not happy about it. They are not happy about it whatsoever. And so we'll talk about that. Why are they frustrated about that? In addition to that, we're going to talk about Greg Gutfeld. He has been in his feelings big time. I'm will say I'm not a fan of Greg Gutfeld. I do respect the fact that, hey, he has made a success off of his style of, I wouldn't even say journalism, his style of talk, because he has rose to be a successful dude uh to Fox News. I mean, hell, he was on Jimmy Fallon, for crying out loud. Um in addition to that, Zohran Mamdani, who has been the leading person in the New York City mayoral race, has recently uh received a big endorsement. But will it help him in this race? We'll talk about it and so much more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, family, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. Couldn't do it without you. I couldn't keep this momentum going without you guys. I love having the conversations. I love having the time just to sit here, catch up, keep y'all informed what's been happening in our world today. Check this out, y'all. For those who are watching us right now on YouTube, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. We would love to keep that momentum going strong. We are growing each and every day in viewerships, subscribers, you name it. We see huge growth happening on all aspects and all avenues here on our YouTube channel. So I thank you. We want to keep that momentum going. So keep liking, and thumbs up. Hey, if you don't like, give us a thumbs down. Hey, we just love activity. Okay, you have the right to not care for words that I say, but hey, if you're watching, I truly appreciate it, because that means, hey, I might be getting on your nerves, but it's something that you like about me, and I appreciate it. In addition to watching us on YouTube, you can also stream us on Goatverse TV. That's right, Goatverse TV. You can check us out on demand, Goatverse TV. If you have not downloaded the app yet, look, you can do so by going to your app store. If you happen to be an iPhone user, Google Play Store. For you Android users out there, you can also download it on your Roku TV as well as Amazon Fire. So multiple ways you can support GOATverse TV. I'm honored to be a part of that amazing and growing streaming platform. And now, if you prefer to listen to me audio only, you can do so, of course, wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all major podcast platforms. And you can also listen to us on the radio airwaves by one of our radio affiliates. Shout out to WBOK 1230 a.m. in New Orleans. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. And that is, again, only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. Then we're going to move it on to the Metro Atlanta area to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on WDJY 99.1 FM. All right, my friends, look, we're going to take a quick breather. I don't have a fun fact for you today, but we're going to take a quick breather. Do not go anywhere. We have a lot more show for you here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere and do not change that dial.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
You know, just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
All right, that is right. Every beard does deserve to be legendary. All right, welcome back, my friends, to the Arrington Gavin Show. Let's get it going with our first story. So Greg Gutfeld, we've talked about him many a times here on this program. He's a gentleman just that you just really can't keep out of the news lately. Greg Gutfeld is a popular voice, a popular personality on Fox News. He is the co-host of one of their highest rated, probably I think the highest rated program on their network, The Five, as well as he hosts his own late night show called Gutfeld, a show that I personally think is one of the corniest. The funny thing is, they think it's what viewers, I guess, supporters of him. He tries to make it like a comedy late night news program, but it's extremely corny. Why do I say that? Is because it's the kind of late night that is fit for the older than AARP seniors. I mean, his viewers are probably the ones that shouldn't be watching TV, and that's his audience as well. Hence why they're so popular, because you don't see nobody under 40 watching no Gutfeld. Maybe I won't even say under 50 is watching freaking Gutfeld. But anyway, Gutfeld has been going berserk lately. Because he's one of the ones that is defending the right who have been accusing the left of the recent political violence that has been happening in our world. Now, I've shared here on the program of Megyn Kelly blaming Barack Obama, of where all this started. You have folks pointing at the left, but then when you ask them, okay, if the left is the blame to the violence that just happened to conservative activist Charlie Kirk, what about the threats or the killings of Democratic officials? Are you guys to blame for that? Like, call a spade a spade. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? So recently, he had went ham, back and forth with his co-host Jessica Tarlov, who is the sole liberal voice in the five, because the five, you have five individuals, one liberal, and excuse me, four conservatives. Now, there's two individuals that alternate, including Jessica Tarlov, and that's a former Tennessee Congressman Harold Ford Jr. He is more of the quiet ones, if I would say, but Jessica is somebody that comes with facts, and you can't. She has the thickest skin, I will tell you, because I could not do it have that as a regular job. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I have friends that we don't see eye to eye politically, but we get along. We might have our, debates here and there, but it's out of respect, because hey, he respects his views, I respect mine. Likewise, I know female conservatives as well. They respect their viewpoint, I respect mine. I mean, excuse me, they respect mine, I respect theirs. Keep it moving. But listen to this spat between the two folks. Now, we'll be pausing or muting one, because there were some explicitives that Greg had shared on there, because at the end of the day, I mean, hey, that's what happens when you're losing. But let me go ahead and play that sound bite.
We don't need more information.
Really?
Yes, we don't need it. What is interesting here is, why is only this happening on the left and not the right? That's all we need to know.
What about
There's absolutely no cognitive.
What about Melissa Hortman that we just
okay, you want to talk about Melissa Hortman? Did you know her name before it happened? None of us did. None of us were spending every single day talking about Mrs. Hortman. I never heard of her until after she died.
Doesn't matter.
So I had to pause that, because that's where he just starts spazzing out. That's where he starts spazzing out. Why? Because she asked him a valid question. Greg Gutfeld's excuse was that, hey, look, you name these Democratic officials, we didn't know who Melissa Hortman was. So just to backtrack, y'all, Melissa Hortman was the former House Speaker from Minnesota. She was the Minnesota House Speaker, and her husband was gunned down, assassinated. And here's what kills me here. Here's what kills me, because Greg thought he had a case by saying, "Oh, no one knew he was." Like, does that even matter? Who the hell knew who Charlie Kirk was? Who knows you, Greg? Like, not everybody knows these political figures. The main thing is that political violence can happen, whether if they're on a federal level, a federal level, a state level, or a local level. Political violence is hell. If you have your HOA president assassinated, political violence. So spare me the whole no one knew who she were, like Charlie, like, oh my gosh, this is the hypocrisy. This is the sad. This is where people get their news from these folks. Now, kudos to Jessica for actually keeping her poise, while one was over here getting all belligerent and yelling and swearing and this and that, because she cornered him. The ref was counting. 1, do you want to stay in the fight? 2, he did not have an answer. So it's better to just get, to just yell and cuss on national TV, right? I mean, my issue is, my big issue is, when this happened, it broke my heart. It did. I'll be very honest. It broke my heart to hear that Charlie Kirk was shot and killed doing what he's been doing throughout his whole life, right? it broke my heart. First thing I started thinking, I'm like, wow, this man is a father. He's a husband. He's a friend. He's a brother. He's a son. He's 31 years old. He's a year older than me. He shared his political, his freedom of speech, and it cost him his life. Extremely sad. Now, does that mean I agreed with everything he said? No, I did not. And I've said it here multiple times, y'all. Public figures, whether they're in politics or not, you have to realize that whatever you say in the public, it always will have a response, a reaction from folks, whether be people that agree with it or don't agree. It's always going to have. So if you say something that's even more and more aggressive, what kind of response are you going to expect? You're going to receive people that is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, I truly believe that no one should respond from a disagreement with political violence. Absolutely not. But I try to make it okay. The sad thing is, a lot of people didn't agree with him. A lot of people did not like Charlie Kirk. But in my mind, I had a slight hope that both sides will say, okay, look, we have to realize we are all here to do what's right and do what's right for the American people. We got to come together. We have to put an end to this. We got to bring some unity in this country. But no, unity is not sexy, guys. Unity is not sexy. The first thing you have is a leader in the Oval Office blames the left. Now you see the repeat message going around. You see Greg Gutfeld continuing to kiss the tail of 47, because that's why he's passing out. He's continuing to blame. We've never seen this on the right. Let me read you this more in context. Hold on. This is let me read this from the beginning here. So let's see. Okay, so Jessica Tarlov, Greg Gutfeld were going back and forth over her assessment that political violence is enacted by both sides, because it is by both sides of the aisle after Kirk's assassination. Now, Gutfeld interrupted Tarlov, what they do all the time, because she's by herself. She's a solo liberal, which again is very on brand for Fox. While they were talking about Kirk's alleged shooter, Tyler Robinson's education and hobbies, to ask why this kind of violence is only happening on the left and not the right. They said, we don't need more information, the Fox News star said. What is interesting here is why it's only happening on the left and not the right. That's all we need to know. No, it's not. Then Tarlov asked, okay, what about Melissa Hortman? And that's when all hell broke loose. Again, she was killed in Minnesota. She was a state representative out there. Her and her husband. And the person that killed him had a list of Democrats in the state of Minnesota that he was gonna or the individual was gonna go after, including the governor, Tim Walz, the former VP candidate. Gutfeld asked, "Did you know her name before it happened?" and he it's just, this is quotes I'm reading here. None of us did. None of us were spending every single day talking about Melissa Hortman. Who the hell was spending every single day talking about Charlie Kirk? Again, this is political violence acts all the time. No one should start. People keep on distracting the world by saying it's the left, is what y'all did, all for a check, all for the money, all for fame, all for ratings. He said, I had never heard of her until she died. Do you know how many people did not know who Kirk was until he passed? Do you realize when public figures pass, most people don't even know who they are until they see them on TV. That happens on a regular basis. Now, of course, folks that are in their circle of knowing who this person is or a family, like, Kirk was, again, a year older than me. I knew of him because I knew his rise to fame in the political world. I'm big in digital. I'm big in podcasting. Of course, we know who Charlie Kirk is. And he responded by saying, "Don't play that BS with me." He said, "What I'm saying is there was no demonization, amplification about that woman before she died. It was a specific crime against her by somebody that knew her." I'm still just, it's going over my head right now, y'all. Then you'll bring up Josh Shapiro, who life was threatened because the mansion had caught on fire because somebody had broke in and was hoping that Josh Shapiro and his family was in the home. But you will not bring up that was pro Palestine person. Like, it's always something. It is always something. Look, folks try so hard. Folks try so hard to be like, let's be the bigger person here. Let's just be a bigger person. But no, not the right. Not the right. They should have said, would have been nice to be, you know what? It does happen on both sides because it exists on both sides. That's what you should have said. Was anybody defending Mike Pence when folks was screaming at during January 6th, hang Mike Pence? Was anybody at Fox News or any on the right saying, "Oh gosh, this is so sad. I pray for our Vice President Mike Pence. He doesn't deserve that." No, they didn't. They didn't. They just flocked behind the man who incited it. Yep. That's what they did. That's what they did. And not only did had Gutfeld been just attacking everybody on the left like he normally does, he also attacked another colleague, Howard Kurtz. Let me go and find that soundbite for you. So Howard Kurtz recently, where is it? Here we go. So Howard Kurtz, a host of Media Buzz on Fox News, which was recently canceled, I believe, after 12 years. He was one of the original shows on there, as well as I think it was like the only political entertainment program. It was a weekly program on Fox. He was the former Reliable Sources host from CNN before he went to Fox News. I think he hosted that for about 15 years. And he has always been more right leaning, but I would consider him a centrist. I would consider him very, very centered right leaning. And also he's a seasoned journalist. See, at one point Fox had reasonable folks on there. Shout out to Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace has been a staple in journalism in all different networks. Chris Wallace hosted a program, I believe, either 21 or 27 years. And guess what? He was a liberal. He's a registered Democrat. I mean, oh gosh, was Shepard Smith, independent. You had was her name Gretchen? I'm blanking on the last name, but they used to have reasonable folks, and then they just went berserk, like most of the partisan news platforms. But check this soundbite here. When Howard Kurtz was speaking with a reporter about this incident that occurred, just hear from his words.
Do you think the media, some in the media, are politicizing this by blaming the left or liberal lunatics for the actions of someone who's obviously insane?
No, I don't think so. I think all available evidence related to the suspect suggests that this was a person who was radicalized by a leftist ideology. Every piece of evidence that authorities have released. If the media is going to have an honest conversation about radicalization, where it's happening, how it's happening, and who it's happening to, it has to be acknowledged that extremism isn't necessarily evenly distributed across the political spectrum, and that the left does have a radicalization problem that has not been spoken about proportionally in the media as the extremism on the right, and it does exist. There is violent extremism on both sides. It is not proportionate. And in order to have an honest conversation about what led to this moment, that has to focus in part on the left.
I'm glad you mentioned that it's not unique to one side or one party. Charlie Kirk was not a saint. He said 2 years ago, it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so we can have the Second Amendment. But his murder makes us feel like a very dangerous time.
I mean, we are, obviously, and we've had dangerous times in the past. I was a kid, but, I remember when RFK got shot, and I remember Martin Luther King. I don't remember JFK, but it wasn't that far behind. We've had political violence for many years. It's on both sides. But let's be really clear here, and this is where I think this becomes a media story, Howie, perfect for you, as a matter of fact, is that if you look at the preamble of what the MSNBC president said before she fired Matthew Dowd, she said inappropriate, this, that, and the other thing. She didn't say inaccurate. And I think what we have to come to terms with here, and it's scary, is that it is mainstream progressive thought that what people like Charlie Kirk basically stand for. I mean, I don't know that statement that you made, but I know the guy. I know what he generally says, and I've conversed with him in the past. He's, I actually once got a little bit of a thing with him over him inviting him jousting with or debating or discussing with Gavin Newsom politics. Yeah, and he invited me on the show to talk about it. That's the type of guy he was, and he's pretty mainstream, Charlie Kirk. Yet it is common thought, accepted as common knowledge in progressive circles, particularly in the progressive media, that he is a fringe character who is hateful and divisive and everything else.
Right. The important thing there about the timing is we had just learned that he had died from the wound, and here he's being trashed, which is not to say, he or anybody has a perfect record. There are sickos online right now who are.
So I want to stop that there because they're obviously continuing on, but because of his statement there, because of his comment, because of Howard Kirk's comment saying that Charlie Kirk was no saint, his colleague Greg Gutfeld had to say something about that. And here's what Greg had to say. If I can find it here, give me 1 second. Greg had went on to post Kirk's comments. Oh man, let me see. Look, give me 1 second. Greg Gutfeld pretty much said that maybe you can clarify your comment next week. Oh, I forgot, because he knew his show, that was his last episode of that show. And then he reposted a gentleman, another gentleman's comments about Howard Kurtz. Greg Gutfeld did. He reposted that on his platform, quoted the tweet. Let's see. A person that put, I could not be happier. This pathetic, weak little man's show got canceled. Leave it to Howard Kurtz. Gutfeld quoted the tweet with his own taunt of his colleague. Maybe we can tune in next week for clarification. Oh, wait. I mean, petty. Extremely petty. Howard Kurtz was actually being a true journalist, not choosing sides, saying what's the truth and actually accuracy. You have people getting attacked for being accurate, for being truthful, like who I've spoken about before on the program, Matthew Dowd, who was a former MSNBC analyst, which in my opinion, MSNBC has been receiving high criticism since that moment where they fired him. Because here's the thing. you heard Howard. I'm sorry, you heard the gentleman that Howard Kurtz who was talking to said that MSNBC, when after they had fired him, the president of MSNBC had shared that what he had said was inappropriate. What Matthew Dowd had said was inappropriate and insensitive and unacceptable. But she never said that he was wrong. She never said it was accurate or inaccurate. She said inappropriate, insensitive, and unacceptable. So was he fired because of the timing? Because what he had said, would you even consider that political hate? No. Here, and I'll repeat the quote that Matthew Dowd said. He said, hateful thoughts. He said hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then led to hateful actions. You can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying things, awful word, and then not accepting awful actions to take place. He said, we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, so we have no idea about this. Now, I will say that that was probably like not the right thing to say because obviously it wasn't a gun off for celebration because it was directed at an individual. So, to my knowledge, when people want to celebrate a gun, they shoot what in the air. So that right there was a bit. I wouldn't have said that. Do I think that was should he have been fired for that? I mean, again, he shared information that was not inaccurate. So I'm confused. Don't you fire most of the time you let go of people that spew out inaccurate information on a network because your goal is to give accurate information, correct? Correct? And for somebody with the amount of experience and years, especially on that network, you would say, no, I mean, he didn't insult Charlie Kirk. He spoke about the individual he spoke about the individual whose life was lost and gave a brief background of what he has been known for. That's accurate stuff. It's accurate. And now we got folks playing the freaking blame game 24/7. Let me transition over to some of these individuals what they have been saying, like for example, let's see here. Carrie Lake, remember her? Remember Carrie Lake, the former Republican candidate for I believe was it senator in Arizona, and I think she ran for another position. She kept on losing. She is a career, I guess, political, like she's a career political candidate. There we go. She's she's a career political candidate. She runs for everything, loses for everything. And in my opinion, I think this is why. Let me play you this soundbite.
How does a 22-year-old become so filled with hate? 5 years earlier, I was told he was a Trump supporter. And we sent our kids off to college and they brainwashed them. I am making a plea to mothers out there. Do not send your children into these indoctrination camps. Don't do it. Do not do it. How does a 22-year-old...
Wait, Carrie. So you're telling me that it's the universities to blame of what happened to Charlie Kirk? It's the universities to blame because the university created a criminal, a killer. So you're blaming the institutions. So now you have once again, the right brainwashing paranoid folks already. And he's saying, you send your children to these indoctrination camps and they come back to, they said he used to be a Trump supporter. Well, last time I checked, there's been a lot of Trump supporters that's been seeing Trump's true colors, like farmers who have been losing money due to tariffs. Also, what about the folks that were at the time promised a list? And I don't need to go into details of what list I'm talking about. You know what list we're talking about, Carrie. Like, come on now. Like, my frustration is that the right refuses to own up to their mistakes. They continue to find, because see, moments like this, y'all, I look at that as desperacy. Why? Because they're finding more and more things to help rally their base and say, look, you guys, we know we have your vote, because all we got to do is just blame this side on everything that happens. If I freaking stub my toe, as long as I say it's because of the left, I don't want me about 3,000 votes because I stubbed my toe. And see, if the left didn't get on my nerves so much, and I would have been in my right state of mind to walk and avoid stubbing my toe, but it's the left, I tell you, it's the left, it's the left, it's the left. I mean, I always criticize the left on strategy, as strategy wise, but I don't know. Maybe I might need to start pressing the Republicans a little more, huh? Because this is just pitiful. Pitiful. I mean, look, check this out. There is a this is how pitiful it's getting. So there is a station. If I can, okay, now my iPad don't want to work. Alrighty. Well, there is a radio station out in Florida that has changed their brain to focus more on a Trump brand. Okay. Let me see if I can. There we go. Okay, perfect. So this now, don't get me wrong, it has been helping with their station because it's their base. It's the state of Florida, let's be honest. It says here a Florida radio station has found success after rebranding as Trump Country 93.7 FM and embracing MAGA with President Donald Trump as the face and the voice of the operation. Lord help us all. WHEL Radio, a country station located in Fort Myers, Florida, uses the slogan "Make Country Great Again," features signature signage that mirrors a Trump campaign ad, airs comedic promotions read by a Trump impersonator, and even uses AI cowboy hat clad Trump in the logo. Oh my goodness gracious. Says here, we make the rebrand decision shortly after President Trump's election landslide and witness all the support in our area of Trump. I mean, it's a cult, y'all. This is truly a cult. I mean, they have areas where they have they have their own Trump stores, like brick and mortar stores. This is nothing but Trump, nothing but Trump. It's a bit weird. It really is. I mean, I'll be honest, regardless of who is in office, I always think it's a little weird when folks have so much memorabilia of a current or former president. I just think, I mean, I can see you having like a collection of, say, all president bobbleheads. Okay. But when it's like one solo person, it creeps me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it creeps me out just a smidgen. But again, we have folks like Carrie Lake spewing out wrong information, disinformation. You have folks like Megyn Kelly, as I already mentioned before. You have folks like let's see here. Here's another gentleman, Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchin. Let me go ahead. Let's put him on blast here. Hold on. Let me go ahead and share you this soundbite. This is him on
put it out, and that continues to stir the base. Remember, we had a hearing last week on UFOs.
I'm creating a conversation, and I have been, and I take pride in the fact that we do bring the temperature down on this program, and I'm definitely redoubling efforts to do that now by playing the words of the president in order to bring about conversation with an elected member of Congress. That's not trying to stir, that's trying to have conversation. And that's trying to ask you
what you thought about it, rather than have you come back and attack me about it.
Well, ma'am, I'm not attacking you. I'm just letting you know that you all need to look within at CNN if you want to continue down this path, because clearly your ratings show that, and the conservative movement is showing that they're not watching you because of that. If you all truly had some objective reporting instead of constantly attacking conservatives and Republicans, then there would be a change, I think. But there's not going to be a change. You all don't want to change down deep. Maybe you do, ma'am. But I dare say that the vast majority of your colleagues do not. They do not come from the conservative spectrum. They see this as just as a Republican type situation, and it is absolutely not. You're seeing as much or more on the left than you are.
Look, y'all, I had to first of all, so tell me this: when we get out and vote, when we wait in line, cast our vote on an elected official, we vote to put them in office to do what? To make sure we have a better life, right? The community, those who live within their districts. Why the hell do they all know the ratings of CNN? Now, look, I'm not here defending CNN whatsoever and saying, oh, they're the best news network in America. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that it's insulting, in my opinion, to the American people that a congressman knows more about CNN ratings than to answer some damn questions. I mean, come on. What did they elect you in there for? What was your campaign slogan? I'll make sure I'll press those network ratings and it shows the ratings and this and then the other. Once again, talking points that they've retrieved from their daddy in the Oval Office. I mean, give me a break. And see, Tim Burchett, he was somewhat of a fair-minded, at least somewhat trying, but he and the rest of the MAGA supporters within Congress and in Senate has been playing their cards wrong. I mean, it was so funny where they were bringing up a signature. I believe it was a letter. Oh, I'm sorry. It was something that Trump had sent to Epstein, or it was a signature. They were going on a signature, and they were disagreeing that wasn't really Trump's signature. I've seen the president's signature many times, and I've seen the president's signature so many times, and I know who has someone's signature memorized. Like, do y'all think we stupid? Come on, y'all. Come on now. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Check this out here. Here is another individual. What's his name? Oh, Ben Shapiro. That's right, Ben Shapiro. He's another individual who is continuing to point fingers at the left and not take ownership. And look, I'm a fan of Ben Shapiro. He said some off the wall stuff multiple times, but he's somebody that I can tolerate. Here's what he had to say recently. Was on what's his name? Bill Maher.
Shooting at a synagogue, it is very likely to be either a white supremacist or a radical Muslim. If it is a shooting of a Republican politician, it is very likely to be a trans Antifa Marxist shooter. That is just.
And I wanted to pause. I wanted to pause that because as I mentioned earlier, so some explicits that I don't want to have shared here on my show. But y'all, I remember when I was in elementary school, and it would either be like me and a kid that will be like fighting each other, right? Or a fight will break out, or argument break out, or a little tussle break out. As much as I could say it was that individual that started, because sometimes it was. I mean, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But if that person was started, guess what? The teacher would say both of y'all is on punishment. Because even though he might have provoked you, you still reacted. Or even though you started, he reacted, or vice versa, both of y'all are still at fault. Because you're not sharing a good example at all. You're not showing a great example for how you were raised. You're not showing a great example of your teach. Like, you're punished both. In a state like this, political violence occurs from both sides. Sorry to break it to you. I can't say which one starts the most, because guess what? I don't know every single Democrat elected official in America, because you have them on so many levels. You have on a federal level, you got state Democrat and you got local Democrat. I can't name everybody, nor do I see them 24/7. They could easily be saying something right now. Likewise on any side. So that's a crazy statement to say. The vast majority that you want to tune into. That's the thing. People see, partisan lines creates folks having a narrative of only one side instead of reading both sides. Okay. That's just the God honest truth. And so we are going to continue to see this back and forth. I mean, even lastly, this is the last thing that I will play for you, and then we're going to take a quick commercial break. This was from our current sitting vice president, JD Vance, who had recently had guests hosted Charlie Kirk's show. And listen to this here.
People on the left are much likelier to defend and celebrate political violence. This is not a both sides problem. If both sides have a problem, one side has a much bigger and malignant problem, and that is the truth we must be told. And while our side of the aisle certainly has its crazies, it is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left. People on the left are much likelier to defend and celebrate political violence. This is not a both sides problem. If both sides have a problem, one side has a much bigger and malignant problem, and that is the truth we must be told.
Okay. So then check this out. When Trayvon Martin was murdered, a teenager, right? When George Floyd was murdered, Eric Garner. How many times did the conservative right demonize these individuals? I bet if you actually would have gone on social media, I bet you would have seen a number of folks saying some wild stuff about these individuals. I guarantee you. How many folks spent more time demonizing them? Trayvon Martin was a kid that was walking home, minding his business, defending himself from a grown-ass man. Look. We vote for people who can lead. If you are the so-called leader and you are busy planning more time to say to try and make yourself look good and to continue to bash coworkers, because even though y'all have different letters in front of your names, you're still coworkers. If that's your way of leading a country and bringing the country to peace and healing, wow. I mean, the qualifications for public office has really it's been changing. It has been changing. I'll tell you that much. Anybody could run for office at this point. I'm serious. Anybody could run for office at this point. I have a Cavachon named Carter. Carter will be 3 years old in December. I think Carter has a better chance running for office. I really do. I'm thinking of a campaign slogan right now. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see how we looking with time here. Let me go ahead and we're gonna take a quick breather. We'll be right back. here with the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, y'all? Welcome
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new Goldverse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing Goatverse TV.
Goatverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. I thought I was finished, but I ain't finished yet. I got a couple. I want to share a couple more things before we close up the show, and then I wanted to talk about WrestleMania as well as Donnie's recent endorsement. Looks like I'll have to move that on to the next show. That's what happens when you just look. You're having fun. Let me go ahead and share this. This was from the Barstool founder David Portnoy. He gives his 2 cents on the political violence happening in our world. Check this out.
Politics definitely has a huge part in it. Trump, and when I say Trump has a huge part in it, I don't necessarily mean he's to blame for it, but he's so divisive without really even just his face is like divisive. Like people hate him so much. And the left and the right, the rhetoric, especially to me, the left, is insane, and it just boils. And this happened when Trump, they threatened when his assassination attempt. There's like a 3-hour period of like, let's tone down the rhetoric,
right?
Then they're right back to it. Paul.
I mean, I will give him credit. I will give David Portnoy credit because he has been very fair, in my opinion, with his responses to issues happening on the spectrum. Even though he leans more right, he has been truly fair, because who do you know on the right has been saying that Trump is also divisive? You don't hear it. You don't hear it. Now, here is a I would say sane senator, Republican Senator James Lankford. He was recently on CNN, and this is what he had to share about the issues happening in our world with the political violence. He did not call sides out.
Yeah, I have to pay attention to it. We've had 14,000 threats against members of Congress just this calendar year. So the numbers are rising dramatically. Obviously, we've had a home invasion of legislators in Minnesota where they were murdered in their own home in the middle of the night. We've had a Democratic governor in Pennsylvania. His home was set on fire. There are things that are occurring now that are different than what we have seen just 2 or 3 years ago. So, yeah, we have to pay attention to this. But we also understand that it's important for all of us to be able to make sure that we're modeling rhetoric to be able to bring volume down. But each person, if they're carrying out acts of violence, they are personally responsible for that act of violence. It's not just a cultural thing that's given them permission, that might have given them ideas.
Are you?
I mean, just thank you. Thank you, Senator Lankford. Thank you for being probably the only sane Republican senator that is actually making sense out here in these streets. And again, shout out to David Portnoy, because guess what? Trump is divisive. Thank you. He's a guy who voted for him. He is divisive. His face even shares that he's divisive. Because you would have felt you felt some type of way when when the assassination attempt was on his life, grazed his ear. Look, I had sincerity for him, and I was like, maybe he might humble himself during the RNC. What does he do? Makes it into a show. Makes it into a show, into another brand to make everybody like him more. I mean, just y'all, we need prayer. That's all I gotta say is we need prayer. Y'all take care. Tune in every day to the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace and blessings. Stay informed. Stay safe out there. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.